Preaching thrift, while practicing financial panic, results in a lesson in seasonal kindness. He was a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner, wrote Charles Dickens, a line that would later help define the season of goodwill. The character was Ebenezer Scrooge, now one of literature's most famous symbols of miserliness. The story was A Christmas Carol, a book that has come to embody generosity, kindness, and festive cheer. The irony is that it was written at a time when its author could barely afford any of those things himself. The year was 1843. Dickens was already a household name, buoyed by the success of Oliver Twist and the Old Curiosity Shop. His novels were serialized in newspapers and eagerly consumed by readers who queued for the next installment. By any outward measure, he was a literary success. Flush with confidence, Dickens funded a speaking tour of the United States. The gamble failed. Costs spiraled, audiences disappointed him, and sales of his latest novel, Martin Chuzzlewit, fell sharply. At home, expenses mounted. With 4 children and another on the way, Dickens found himself preaching thrift while practicing panic. Public enthusiasm for his work was fading. The crowds were thinning, the serial readers drifting away. The man who had perfected the cliffhanger now found himself hanging on by one. Christmas, meanwhile, was no guaranteed refuge. In Dickens' England, many factories remained open on Christmas Day. For employers, goodwill rarely extended beyond the ledger. It was in this climate, commercial, unforgiving, and distinctly festive, that Dickens decided to write a Christmas story about charity and redemption. Between October and November 1843, working at speed and under pressure, Dickens produced A Christmas Carol. He wrapped his moral vision around the figure of Scrooge, a man obsessed with money at a time when Dickens had none to spare. Confident in the story, he took it to his publisher, who promptly declined. The previous book had lost money, and seasonal generosity did not extend to business risk. Left with little choice, Dickens published the book himself. He scraped together his remaining funds and hired illustrator John Leech. Ironically, instead of cutting corners, Dickens did the opposite. He insisted on an expensive, lavish edition, fine binding, gilt-edged pages and hand-colored illustrations. It was a high-stakes decision for a man writing about the virtue of moderation. The book was priced cheaply to ensure wide access. Sales were steady rather than spectacular, and profits were initially small. But momentum built. Dickens' reputation recovered, his finances stabilized, and the story took on a life of its own. In time, A Christmas Carol helped define modern Christmas itself. Dickens, the man once nearly ruined by money worries, became the unlikely architect of a season devoted to generosity. John Leech's illustrations shaped the festive imagery we still recognize today. Had Dickens not been pushed to the brink, the world might never have been given its most enduring lesson about kindness. As he wrote of Scrooge, in the end his own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. For Dickens, it turned out to be enough as well, and just in time.